Shabbat Shalom to all of you. You know, this time, this week, we have the parasha called Balak. And Balak is the king of Moab, and he is a Gentile. And he's giving this position as a, in this parasha for something special. To show the Creator is going to show to us that even though that he chose Israel as his people, he is not only the God of Israel, but he is the God of his creation. And all humanity belongs to him. No? And doesn't matter how many other groups and they have their own gods, you know, he is the only true God. And he's going to show us through this parasha certain things that we need to be aware. I always have told you that one of my interests is trying to bring the Torah to our times and to trying to see it, what the Torah has for us today and how we can apply it and how we can see the Torah in our own eyes. You know, sometimes we get so involved with the stories of the past that we miss the point about that all those stories are like a mashal, like a parables sometimes, that they help us to bring some truth in a certain way that make us think and make us in a way to act upon those ideas and to get ourselves in a better position. It's not only the idea of listening something historical or listening something that sounds nice, but how I can apply all these ideas for today. Just recently, only this last week, we had a really sad news. I won't call it bad, I call it sad news about what the United Nations, the UNESCO, has done with the patriarch tomb, you know. Basically, they are stealing the inheritance of us, Israel, you know, the people, the Jewish people are taking away the inheritance of our forefathers. You know, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob and the mothers that they are buried there, you know, now they are Palestinians. You know, you can believe that lie is possible. But when you see the whole world going in that direction, there is something that we need to be aware of, and also we need to look at, and we need to see certain signs for the future. I always say that we are like an ellipsoid going up, 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 and we are going to reach a point, and reaching that point is going to be the what I call it the ending and a new beginning, because this world is going through a chaotic way. Doesn't matter how optimist you are, how positive thinker you are, the truth of the matter that our society is going from bad to worse. We're going worse and worse and worse. I wish to tell you that because of these greatest advancements that we have done in technology, we have not developed in the same way intellectually, we have not developed in the same way morally. You know, totally the contrary. We are regressing, and we are becoming more primitive than the primitives, you know. It's interesting that, for example, right now, there are more and more people who say that they don't believe in the Creator, they don't believe in God, they don't believe in anything, you know. But we have more fanatics in religion than ever. And also, we have the people that are so wishy-washy, you know, that you're okay, and you're okay. Everybody's okay, no matter what position they are. And we are in the world where minorities has more rights than the majorities, you know, and we are looking at in a situation in which we talk about respect for the minorities, and when at the end we see that what it means is to impose on others ways that are not the moral ways of society, or they used to be. Now we are so proud to accept anything. We are so proud to believe in anything. We are so proud that we are so open-minded that everything is okay. You know? And we are falling in a very deep hole and without return. Because more and more what we are doing, we are destroying the fiber of society. And destroying the fiber of society, we are destroying this world, and we're destroying each other. You know, we see, for example, a country like North Korea, that is a little bitty country, and they have a fanatic system of, and the people are totally slaves, and they don't have rights of anything, and look like that there is an idolatry to a personality. You know, and that's how they trying to be superior to the rest of the world. And they are defiant, and they are nobody. But nobody dare to say to them, enough is enough. You know, in a regular society we see today, with the change of understandings in psychology, for example, especially in child psychology, and we are fighting against child abuse, you know, and then we are teaching now that the Mishlei, the Proverbs, that they teach about to correct your children is not any longer valid. Why? Because you cannot abuse your children. When correcting your children is child abuse. No? And then we're going to more and more. We are in, like I said, very regressive things. They're going against our own ideas and are going against our own tradition, because they are more illuminated, they are more wiser than for many, many centuries, how humanity has changed. And we are being led by blind, leading the blind. That is basically what is happening. These people do not care about to whom they damage. What they care is about what they are going to get in the pockets. They don't care, those leaders do not care about to do good and to serve. They care about what is for me. You know, we have so many leaders in every part of the world. You know, in every country. The politicians are more now to trying to keep their positions, trying to keep the situation, and trying to keep their wealth for themselves. No, in most of the countries in the world, the politicians become the upper class, and they become the rich people. You know, they come without anything in their pockets, and they become the rich people. And you are going to see, they become the special class. And totally the opposite, because the idea was that you are giving some kind of giftiness. You have been given some kind of special position or a special thing that you have, abilities in yourself. You know, it is not to serve yourself, it's to serve your community. That is true Judaism. When we practice biblical Judaism, not to practice a religion, but to practice biblical Judaism, the revelation of the Har Sinai, the mountain of Sinai, then when you receive the Torah and you see the basic values of these 10 basic principles that will help all humanity if you follow them. A simple way. But we decided that that's not for us. We can do whatever we want to do because we have free will. And what we have done, free will means to be responsible. But no, we don't have free will. We have become libertines. Everybody do whatever they want to do. That is the greatest thing, you know, without respecting the others' rights. And you impose, the world is imposing ways of living, you know, a fanatic religion or a very liberal mentality that they call a very liberal, progressive, however they want to call themselves. They both sides, what they are there to do is my way and no way. It's very interesting. The very liberal so-called people, politicians, they believe that they are the only ones that they are right. And they are the only ones that they have the true way for prosperity. And the only thing that they do and they have accomplished is to make the world more miserable. From the other side, you have those religious fanatics. And those religious fanatics, they tell you that their God is the only God, and they follow their God, and it's the true God, and that God is going to, if you follow that God, you are going to have the bliss. And if you don't want to follow that God, they cut your head. Then both sides, in different ways, are doing exactly the same thing. And we have here the example with Balak and Bilam. Balak is the king of Moab and is united with another kingdom, the Midianites. Interestingly enough, Moab and Midian are related to Israel. Then, in other words, your enemies, they don't come from far away. Your enemies are among yourselves sometimes. The worst people that sometimes you can have is the people who are close to you, and you don't see it. And then Balak represents the nations of that surrender Israel, and these nations are all full of hate against Israel. Why? Because Israel is different to them. They don't follow their style. They don't do the thing that they do. And who is Bilam? Or Balaam in English? This prophet. This is a Gentile prophet that he is going to profit. A prophet who profit. Okay? He is going to make profit of his giftedness. He has a relationship with the Creator. For the reason, it's interesting that he doesn't know about this special nation, or looks like that he doesn't know about this nation that the Creator has chosen. He is requesting his services. And his services are to curse a nation to be defeated. This king, Balak, wants to curse the nation of Israel because he is no dummy. He knows what is going on. He has seen how Israel has been passing through, and nobody has been able to defeat it. Well, we see it today. In the Middle East, everybody is against Israel. Everybody wants to destroy Israel. But every time that they go against Israel, little bitty Israel, they get their nose bleeding. And why? Because they are not fighting against little bitty Israel. That's the problem, that they cannot accept that. They are fighting against Adonai Sebaot. They cannot accept the idea. And they refuse to accept that. And they're going to try by all means to get reinforcements. And what is the reinforcement now? They realize that we cannot defeat Israel by the regular means. What it means by war, by materials, by weapons, by armies. Then we need to look other ways to defeat them. And how we are going to defeat Israel? Now we are going to use the hocus pocus, the spiritual realm. And here is where they contract Bilam. Now, Bilam is a very interesting personality. Like a Balak, the name Balak brings the idea of of destruction. Bilam is the name Bilam means who is no people, or is no is a mad people, or they are not regular people. Bleed without a people. Then is an anti people. That's what Bilam is. And very interesting is, he has the power given by the Creator that he can bless or curse people and nations. With his tongue, he can destroy nations. Look at how powerful he was. And this is how now the nations of the world today, they're trying to destroy Israel. Little by little, they are taking away from Israel what Israel is all about. You know, little by little, they are stealing the stamina of Israel. They are robbing the places who made them as a people. Now they have taken Jerusalem, you know, the Kotel or the wall of the temple. The only thing that we have is still standing up from the time of the temple. That is very special for us, Jewish people. You know, now they have declared that it's Palestinian. Now Hebron is Palestinian. Everything is Palestinian now. And do you know what is sad? That there is no Palestinian people. They don't exist. There is a made up by the United Nations, by the Arab countries. You know, you know, when you create a lie, you need to keep the lie functioning. And we have accepted the lie. The world has accepted the lie. And the worst part it is, like I said to you at the beginning, look at who is Moab and Midian, the people that are closer to you. You know, one of the greatest enemies right now of Israel are people inside Israel, who they would like to destroy Israel. They have forgot the Shoah. They have forgot why Israel became a nation again, by the suffering of millions of people that they were destroyed by a madman. And they want to go in the same direction. But Israel say no, never more. But we are facing that situation. Then we have the nations and the spiritual people coming together to try to destroy Israel. The spiritual people, they know that they cannot mess with the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the true God. And they are going to do subterfuge. They're going to do ways in which they are going to demoralize Israel. Today, that's because they are doing it. Demoralizing Israel. But Israel is not a holy people, as many of us would like to see it. Israel, totally the contrary. It is a people that is failing to the Creator. Sorry to tell you that. How do I know that? You know, we have very religious people, and we have very secular people in Israel. You know, and each one of them, they have their own ways, and they think they are right. I am glad that the only way that Israel will come together again is when we have a war, or we have an enemy that trying to destroy. That's the only way that we come together. We don't come together by goodness. We don't come together by goodwill. It's demonstrated that Israel come together only when they're trying to destroy and they don't have other places to go. You know, in the United States, here in Canada, we have very rich Jewish people, but they are very open-minded, you know, very liberal. And you know, and that now they are protesting against Israel, the abuse that they have against the Palestinians. And they are blaming Israel for all the evils that is happening in the so-called Palestinian people. And they say that it's because Israel is abusing the rights of these people. How many times Israel have been trying to get a peace treaties with these people? You know, by the way, I repeat to you, the Palestinians don't exist as a people. They are made up. And were the Arab countries that they never absorbed these people. They never wanted to take it. Israel, after 1948, all the Jewish people that were living in these Arab countries, they were mistreated and really treated bad, they moved to Israel, and Israel absorbed them. But the Arabs, they didn't want to absorb their own people. They leave it there in us, the people that they call it the hostage. And they are only hostage of their own people. If you are reading the news today, you are going to see now that the Hamas, the people from Gaza, they don't have electricity right now. And the reason they don't have electricity, everybody says because Israel has cut the electricity to Hamas. In despite of all that Hamas does to Israel, Israel giving electricity. Who are the ones that has stopped? They don't want that Israel give the electricity. Are the Palestinians, the so-called the Front of Liberation of the Palestinians, Abbas, and because they are fighting against each other. And now Egypt is giving to the Hamas, and they're becoming good friends again. That's not good for Israel, of course. But who are being blamed in the United Nations? If you are a little bit curious, do a research of the last 3 years of the United Nations, and look in the United Nations how many nations are being looked as bad nations. Israel is in the top of all of them. They don't talk about North Korea. They don't talk about Syria. They don't talk about Afghanistan. They don't talk about Venezuela. They don't talk about all these evil countries in Africa. The only country that receives all the complaints is a little bit Israel. They don't have any other thing. And the people who belong to these groups are the same people who do know themselves when they condemn Israel. Those countries, they do not have any right for their own people. This is the United Nations. I ask my question, why Israel keep trying to be part of this group of nonsense? I'm going to give you the special answer that is here in this special parasha. When Balak started prophesying, and he cannot prophesy against Israel because the Creator said, you only will open your mouth. Only you will open your mouth, and because you are going to say what I tell you to say. So everything that you say, I will tell you. You know, I disagree with many of the sages who say certain parts are Balak, and Balak was not a good friend of Israel. No, when he prophesied according to what the Creator told him to say. He didn't invent it. That was the Creator telling him. And in chapter 23, there is something very special. Here we say, verse 9. Balak is prophesying, it's prophecy. And he say in verse 9, how shall I curse someone whom God has not cursed? He's telling to Balak. How to denounce someone who God has not denounced? Yes, from the top of the crowd I see him. From the hills I decry him. A people that dwells on his own, and not to be reckoned among other nations. You know, you go to Devarim, Deuteronomy, in Deuteronomy 7:6, he say, the Lord, through Moses Rabbeinu, for you are a people consecrated to the Lord, your God, and all the people of the earth, among all the people of the earth, you have been chosen by the Lord your God to be his own people. Why they say that the other nations cannot reckon with Israel? Cannot be with Israel. Because Israel was going to be different. The question is, Israel wanted to be different. Did Israel want to be different? And the answer is no. We sometimes we have this idyllic idea about Israel. But we need to, what I always say to you, I like the Torah. It is very honest. And the Torah paints us and we are human beings with our own limitations. We have a big heart sometimes, and we have a very small heart sometimes. And here, you're going to see once, over and over again, one of the cries of Israel, what they wanted to be, like the other nations. In 1 Samuel chapter 8, that you're going to see at the beginning, when they're going to name a king. And Israel constantly wants to be like the other nations. Why do you think that Israel right now is so crazy about being in part of the United Nations? Because they want to be accepted by the other nations. You see, Israel doesn't need to be accepted by the other nations. Israel is already a nation of itself, and they have the right to exist. Doesn't matter what other people say. But the question is, who is with us and who is against us? Balaam, as a prophet of God, supposedly, is a typical religious person, religious nation. It is not about what I can give, but what is good for me, how I can receive. From the beginning, he knew that the Creator said to him, you shall not curse these people because are a special people that I have formed. And he insisted. He tells the people, say, I cannot curse, I cannot do, sorry, goodbye. Then Balak had the money. He said, you won't tell me that. Everybody has their own price. Every person has their own price. I'm going to tempt you. And then he say, wait again. And he say, I will do what God tells me, stay here again. And for the second time, he insists. He already has received the answer. No is no. But he goes for the second time. How many of us, when we don't like something that we have been told not to do, we insist to do it, no matter what. And we look for certain way how to do it. How many times I have told you before, people say, Rabbi, I can do this. Rabbi, it's okay for me to do that? I say to them, am I your conscience? You need to deal with yourself. Because they say, the rabbi told me that it's okay for me to do that. Okay, now I can do it. No, it's the rabbi's fault. It's not my fault. Well, let me tell you, Balaam didn't give up. The Creator has already told him not to go. Okay, you insist, you want to go. Okay, let me tell you. You are going to go, but you cannot open your mouth if I don't give you the word. He goes, he tells Balak, I am here, but it doesn't matter how much money you give me. You can give me half of your kingdom, but I cannot do anything that he has told me to do. He knew that. But he was looking for any means or ways. We are going to look today we talk about when giving the law, giving the way out. When sometimes the nations, the countries, they give laws, and what they're looking is for the exception. I'm going to look a way how to circumvent the law. And that's what later on Balaam is going to do. Balaam was not able to curse Israel, but later on we are going to see that he was able to advise the kingdoms of the Moabites and the Midianites how to make the people of Israel fall. And then the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob will protect them. Totally the contrary, will punish them. How? Because the only way that Israel can be punished is when Israel is disobedient to the Creator. Let me put it right now, today, in the time that we are living. Do you think Israel is in open arms in following the Creator? You think Israel is the good person and the rest of the nation are the bad people? We need to be honest with ourselves. We need to be realistic. We need to see the situation. There is no now one evil and one innocent. And this is why in political science today is so unclear, so many things. There is not a clear point in which we can say this is right and this is wrong. Everything is a mess. Why? Because the Creator is not put in his place. And we are following men, we are not following God. We have a lot of things to learn. But we are going from bad to worse, I told you. And our values, the values of humanity has changed completely. And we are more in the size of Balaam than in the size of the Creator. We would like to hear somebody who has the clothes, somebody who calls themselves religious leaders, to tell us what we can do in order that we can, blame somebody else for our actions. If the scripture say to you, this is wrong, and then comes somebody and say, no, necessarily, it's not wrong, now it's good. And everybody say, oh, I like the idea, now it's good. We are changing the morality of the world because it's convenient for certain group of people. We're living that today. Today, immorality is the thing. More immoral you are, more progressive you are. Less morality you have, you are advanced. Less value you have, you are a better person. You are free. Or the taboos. That's how when somebody told me, you are full of taboos. Don't do this, don't do that, don't look at... No. You see, this is why it's so important to understand the Balaams and the Balaks. The Balaks, the only thing that they want is to destroy the people that are not with them. They don't care who you are or where are you. What they care is about that you don't exist. You don't bother me. And the Balaams are the superior minds, the spiritual leaders who are being bought by money and power. And they are the ones that they have the right to do whatever they want to do in the name of their gods. They can destroy humanity, they can do whatever they want to do. Because they are in the side of God. And we're living these two sides. And like I said to you, when the Balaks and the Balaam, they come together, that it is the worst thing that can happen. And it's happening in front of our eyes. You have the United Nations, a corrupted organization, and everybody knows that they're corrupted, but nobody say anything. Okay? Because everybody wants to be part of it. Including Israel, who is being punished by this organization constantly without reason. The public opinion in the world is already made up. The only way that is right is what supposedly the open-minded, the very liberal, they are right. But because they are afraid of certain groups that are very, what I would say, going against everybody's rights, they're trying to appease them. And the very liberal people are allowing these very fanatic people to destroy their own places or nation. I am not a prophet, but I'm going to tell you one thing. Pretty soon, Europe is going to cease to be Europe. It's going to change completely. And the reason is because of the corrupted leadership that they have. That they don't have the turpitude to stand up for what is right. And they're afraid of dealing with people because they don't want to be called that they are a bigot or they are anti-something, and they use the system of appeasement. The Creator never used the system of appeasement. He dealt with the issue with Israel, beginning with Israel himself. We're going to see later on in the next parasha. In this one, we're going to see something that is very obvious. We are living in crucial times. Our nations are disappearing. And there are now philosophies and religions that they want to take over the world. Biblical Judaism has never been a religion. It's a way of giving. It's a revelation from God. Blessed be his name. It has given us the best values as human beings. And what it tells us is that we do not believe in conversion, but we believe in transformation. Being transformed. And to be transformed, we need to have a relationship with the Creator. Not based in my religion, and your religion, in your God or my God, because there is only one God. There are not two or three gods, there is only one God. And this is the God, the creator of the whole universe, and the creator of all humanity. And yes, there is this God created Israel, and yes, this God created the other nations of the world. There are not two gods. And he wants that we are together. Israel was given the function, being Or Legoyim, light to the world. Is Israel right now Or Legoyim? We need to ask that question ourselves. We try sometimes. We're trying to live under greater values. But the truth of the matter, in our desire to be reckoned as other nations, exactly what he said, the opposite of what the scriptures say here. We are trying so badly to be accepted by other nations that we don't care about to trump our own values. Now we are the most liberal, we are the most progressive nation in the Middle East. Like a dust is a badge of honor. Instead to say, we need to be the people who live under the banner of the Creator, and that we have been chosen for something special. We are not here to impose anybody anything. We're here to share and to teach, to give them the light. It's to the individual, it's to the nation, to decide what side do they follow. Coercion is the worst thing that you can do to anybody. That's the reason that I dislike religion with passion. Because most of the religious people, what they teach you is that you do not follow their ways, you are condemned for eternity. Religious people, they teach you through fear. It's the same primitive religion, the religion of appeasement to a superior God. That if you don't offer certain things, you are going to miss all those things. Interestingly enough, in the parasha of this week, the half Torah is Malachi. Micah, sorry. Let me find it. Chapter 6. What did I say, Malachi? The slip of the tongue? Or that was my chapter 6. I'm going to start with verse 6. After he's making this comparison with Balak and Bilam, you know, when he started in chapter 6, he says, now listen to what the Lord say, stand up and stay your case unto the mountains and let the hills to what you have to say. Listen, mountains, to the case of the Lord, put an ear to the foundation of the earth. That is important. The meaning, the picture that they're showing is the world, is the earth. Everybody needs to know what the Creator is telling and teaching us. For the Lord has a case against his people, and he will argue with Israel. My people, what has I done to you? How I has made you tired, you know, of me? Answer me. For I brought you out of Egypt. I ransomed you from the place of slave labor and sent Moses, Aaron, and Miriam to lead you. My people, please, he's begging to Israel. My people, please remember what was Balak, the king of Moab, plans, and how Bilam, son of Beor, answered him from Shittim to Gilgal, for you to know the Lord's saving justice. If you look a little bit about the geography, you're going to see that talking about the Transjordan, Jordanian, and all that area. It's interesting. With what shall I enter? And then they say, you know, the Lord's saving justice. Verse 6. With what shall I enter to the Lord's presence and bow down before the God Almighty, Al Shaddai? Shall I enter with burnt offerings? In other words, I need to go to the temple and bring the olah with calves of 1 year old. Will he be pleased with rams by the thousands and with 10,000s of stream of oil? I mean, he will be amazed. He will be really taken by the people because how much we give it to him, we offer to him. With 10,000 stream of oil, shall I offer? And this is a beautiful statement. I wish that you understand about other religions. Shall I offer my eldest son for my wrongdoings and the child of my own body for my sins? I hope that you read that part and you interpret it. You're right. I won't tell you what to interpret. But, you know, there are religions that they teach you that you can do you can kill yourself or you can kill your children, give your children for the cause, and then you're going to go to heaven. And the other, they say that, that God will give you something like that. He say, God is talking. Look at what he's asking. This is the basis of true Judaism, what I call it biblical Judaism. And that's what the Creator is calling all of us to be. You have already been told what is right. The Ten Commandments are the basis. I don't need to repeat it you over and over again. You already know. The world knows. You don't need to be a rocket scientist to know the basic Ten Commandments. You can be the humblest person and you can have this part in you. The revelation of God, His righteousness, is given to you through the word of the revelation in Har Sinai. And what is the Creator wants from you? You already have everything. I already told you everything. You don't need more revelation. You don't need more hocus pocus or anything like that. People love the hocus pocus. The Creator is saying, you are too old for those things. When you were young, I entertained you. Now, you need to act. You need to work. You need to do. When you were a child, I will play with you. But now you're an adult. Let's see, as an adult, what you're going to do. And this is what he's saying. Only this, I am asking you for you. Look at this. To do what is right, to love loyalty, to chesed, kindness, the Hebrew chesed, kindness, mercy, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God. And to do the halakha, the walking with Him, not in religious way, but in a relationship that He is with you, and people can see that He is with you, not because how you dress, but for what you have here inside you. Your actions and your words speak loud that all the uniforms and all the customs that people can use to look like holier than thou. In which part he say, you need to kill somebody for you to forgive you your sins? Where here say, you need to give me your life to forgive you yourself? What is here say, give me an arm and give me a leg? No? You need to do a sacrifice. We say, you need to be yourself. You need to be a human being with great value that I have taught you to be. You need to be a Shomer Torah. A Shomer Torah doesn't mean to be a religious person. You need to follow my instructions and live it. A living Shomer Torah. That's what the Creator is asking to each one of us. Not to be more religious, not to be more proper, not to be holier than thou. Live and be responsible. Where your rights ended, the rights of somebody begins. Respect your neighbors as you are respected too. Be kind to those ones that they don't have. Help those ones that are in need. Speak for those ones that cannot talk for themselves. Like Mishlei say, He has given us mouth to speak for the mute. He has given eyes to see for the blind. He has given us the sense of justice to speak for those who are suffering injustice. That's the true people of Israel. That's the true people of God. Have you been called to be His people? You have been called. You need to reject the Balaks and the Bilans. You cannot do profit with what you have learned. Only you can give to others who you have received. Shabbat Shalom.